All right, welcome to today's 1 hour webinar hosted by Prevention Plus Wellness LLC, located here in beautiful St. Augustine, Florida. My name is Dr. Chudley Wirch, and I'm president and founder at Prevention Plus Wellness. This is a 1 hour webinar that we host every now and then. We use this webinar also as a part of our training for our program implementers. We sometimes refer to this session as PPW, or Prevention Plus Wellness Core Knowledge. So if you're with us today, you can spend an hour. That's fantastic. We appreciate that, and especially knowing that you're busy professionals. You've got a lot going on on your plate and in your world. So thanks for tuning in. And for those of you that stay with us, you'll be receiving a 1 hour CEU certificate. All you have to do is type in your name, and you could download a copy for your records. You'll also receive a PDF of these slides, which you're welcome to review and share with others in your area. And then lastly, you'll receive a link to this session, which is being recorded right now. So again, feel free to share the link and the PDF slides with all of your colleagues in your organization, your region, your state, your nation. So as you can see by the title, this is all about Prevention Plus Wellness, our youth and our parent program, Substance Use Prevention Plus Wellness program. So it is a core knowledge session and really good information. And particularly, we've got 4 objectives that we'll be covering today. You can see them right here. We will be describing the substance use PPW, again, Prevention Plus Wellness screening and brief interventions for both youth and parents. We sort of expanded our programs more recently to have more programs for parent use. And that came out of a request from one of our providers. Secondly, we're going to identify the very unique aspects or components of Prevention Plus Wellness programs. And these unique components allow them to be broadly used with youth and prevent substance use, while also improving the physical and mental health of youth and young adults. And all of our programs, I should say all of them, but our programs are being used throughout the country, all 50 states, and a number of other nations. Thirdly, we're going to review the research and theory which support the use of brief interventions and interventions that integrate substance use prevention with wellness promotion. And lastly, as you can see there, number 4, we're going to look at the new adaptations that we've created over the months and years that have really increased the flexibility and the practicality of Prevention Plus Wellness programs for their use, not just in person, but also online. And so we'll take a look at all of this. Let's start taking a look, first of all, at the PPW programs, and we'll start with the evidence-based sport program. Sport is our alcohol drug prevention plus wellness program for youth. We've got a high school, middle school, and elementary school version. Just to give you a quick overview of the sport prevention plus wellness program, it's evidence-based, as I said. It's been shown to prevent alcohol, tobacco, cannabis use and increase significantly physical activity among non-using and substance-using youth. It targets alcohol and other drugs, as well as physical activity in sports, healthy breakfast and nutrition, sleep and stress control. It's a single session screening and brief intervention. It can be implemented anywhere from 45 to 55 minutes, depending on how much time you want to spend. It can be expanded easily beyond a single session. And we cover all of that in our 2-hour online program, Implementer Training. The sports PPW program, like I think all of our programs, are implemented with slides, makes it very easy for you to present. And even equally easy is that you actually have the script in your program manual to provide the program to youth individually, one-on-one, or in a group that is 2 or more, in person or online. So you also have parent optional materials, particularly a parent letter and 4 flyers, weekly flyers. And you do get this physical manual, and you get a digital download of all your reproducible materials, so you don't have to purchase anything, continue to purchase things like student materials and so on. And as I said, we do have online protocols, so easily implemented in person or online. Our parallel program to sport is In Shape, Prevention Plus Wellness. Also focuses largely on alcohol, tobacco as well. This is a program used for young adults. It's being implemented in college campuses, communities, U.S. military. Evidence-based, as I said, proven to prevent alcohol, cannabis, drinking, driving, increasing physical activity and other healthy behaviors, including health-related quality of life. Again, for young adults, 18 to 25, 26 or so. It targets alcohol and tobacco, particularly physical activity of different types, healthy nutrition, sleep, stress control. Again, all of our programs are screening and evidence-based screening brief interventions. It's a little bit lengthier, so it can be implemented within an hour or so. Implemented again, like Sport with Slides. You have a program manual with a script provided to young adults individually in a group, in person or online. You get this manual, you get the digital downloads of all of the reproducible materials in the slides. Now we have what I would call adaptations or modifications of our evidence-based programs. One of them is the vaping, which is the e-cigarette prevention plus wellness program. We have it in high school, middle school, and elementary school versions. We also have a marijuana prevention plus wellness program, high school, middle school, elementary school version, and we have an opioid PPW program. We've got an adolescent version and a high-risk young men and a high-risk young women version, according to the needs identified by SAMHSA, Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. All three of these programs, the vaping, the marijuana, the opioid PPW program, we consider them evidence-informed because they are based on the evidence-based sport and In Shape program. And yet, I want to highlight that they do use the evidence-based practices, screening, and brief intervention. So you can call them evidence-based, you can call them evidence-informed. I think you can make the case either way. The marijuana and the vaping PPW program are based on adaptations of the sport program, and the opioid PPW program is an adaptation of the In Shape program. So essentially, what you've got here is, let's take marijuana, for example, marijuana PPW. We've taken sport and we've taken out the alcohol messages and inserted the cannabis messages, or inserted the e-cigarette messages, or inserted the opioid messages. So, and we created these because of providers like yourself that said, hey, we love the model, we like the messages, but we want to address specifically these other emerging epidemics and substance use addictions. So these programs, obviously, depending on which one, either target e-cigarettes or opioid, non-medical opioid use, or cannabis use, plus, again, all of those wellness behaviors, physical activity, sports, and breakfast and nutrition, and sleep and stress control. Single session screening brief interventions, they can be easily expanded to multiple sessions, which we discussed in our online program implemented training. Scripted, you get a manual, you get a digital download. Same conceptual model as all of our other evidence-based programs, etc. Can be implemented in person and online. We have one multi-session program. It's called Sports 2. We have a high school, middle school, and elementary school version. By the way, high school addresses, like 14, 18-year-olds, middle school 10 to 14, elementary school probably 8 to 10, approximately, depending on their cognitive abilities. So the sport program, multi-session. So that all of our other programs integrate all of these behaviors, substance use, as well as chronic disease risk behaviors, lack of physical inactivity or sedentary living, poor nutrition, lack of sleep, by addressing wellness behaviors. The Sport 2 pulls these behaviors apart and addresses them individually. So, for example, you've got a lesson that addresses moderate intensity physical activity specifically. So it's a little bit more targeted toward different behaviors. You can see 3 types of physical activity, 2 types of nutrition, and a stress control relaxation lesson as well. Same thing, screening, feedback, goal setting, and it does integrate the substance use prevention messages within those healthy behaviors. We also have a relatively new, our newest program is Racial Justice, PPW. Why are we addressing racial justice? What does that have to do with it? Anything? Well, research shows that racial discrimination is a risk factor for youth substance use. So that's why we created that. Also, spirituality is a protective factor. So that's why we created our In God's Image program. As far as racial justice, the factors that are addressed, the behaviors that are addressed are targeted. The Racial Justice PPW program are designed to get youth, adolescents to contemplate, to observe, to learn more, and then to act or help prevent racism and social inequity in their environment, whether that be the school, community, online. So it's a really unique and I think a very, very important program. The In God's Image program addresses spirituality practices in addition to avoiding substance use and increasing, healthy behaviors. And we're offering IGI, that's In God's Image, now for free. All you have to do is go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, look under our programs offering, and you'll find In God's Image. Just click on it, and you could order it up for nothing. By the way, that program is our only completely digital program. Prevention Plus Wellness video programs. This is something new that we've added recently over the last month or two. We believe these video programs are sustainable. They're highly interactive, so they're unique. They're not just a typical video, they're interactive videos. So the youth interacts with the video. They're adaptations of our program. Now, what we've done thus far is we've taken the sport, that's our alcohol drug prevention plus wellness program for high school students, and we've taken that manual program and we've adapted it or modified it into a video, 2-set video. The first video includes the screening and feedback. The second video includes the goal setting. So you show these 2 videos back to back, and these videos could be sent to youth and done online, or they could be presented in a classroom. The advantage of this is the dynamic imagery that you see in these videos. So they see representations of themselves doing all of these fantastic physical activity, eating healthy, getting sleep, really, really dynamic video, and youth are used to video, and they like video, and I think it can have a real impact on them. So that's our Prevention Plus Wellness programs. If we see that you as providers like these videos, we'll expand and create our other programs into video format. So it's really up to you to let us know. Do you like the Sport PPW high school version video? If you do, we'll go ahead and we'll continue to create, adapt or modify our other manual programs into video format for you. And lastly, our most recent modification and development creation has come in the Prevention Plus Wellness parent programs. Now, the Sport PPW program includes, as I said before, a letter and a 4 weekly flyer. So we've always had parent materials involved as a part of our programs. But recently, some of our providers said, hey, we really would love to have a brief parent program, parent caregiver program, because our current family programs are multi-session and they're just a challenge to implement to parents. Parents don't have the time. So what we did was we modified our manual programs into a format that you could present to parents and caregivers. So it's a 1-session training program, 1-session workshop that you can present to parents. It depends on how much time you want to spend the length of the workshop depends on how much time you want to give your parents time to practice. But the goal is to get youth to present these highly motivational, brief prevention plus wellness communications with their youth and give them goal setting opportunities. So the PPW parent programs include 1 hour online workshop. As you can see, there are 4 items there: PowerPoint training slides, instructor directions, and a parent guide. And then you can present this to your parents in your organization or your region. So check it out. We think it's really exciting and of course, parents are so important to the prevention of substance use and the promotion of healthy lifestyles among their youth. And so check it out on our website, preventionpluswellness.com, under programs, and you'll find PPW parent programs. Prevention plus wellness programs are being implemented in all 50 states. Sometimes, particularly when we talk to, well, I had a discussion with some fascinating people in the island nation of Malta, island state of Malta, off the coast of Italy yesterday. And they didn't quite understand, where can you implement these programs? Well, they can be implemented anywhere there are youth or young adults. So here are just some examples. You can go down the list to see. Really, a lot of these programs are implemented, again, wherever youth are, in school, out of school, in sports. Remember, prevention plus wellness programs are universal prevention interventions. They're designed for all youth, not just youth in certain settings or involved in sports. It's about creating a healthy lifestyle, which includes physical activity, whether that be sports or not, and of course preventing substance use at the same time. So they're holistic, integrated, and practical programs. And because they're brief, they can really, you as a provider can really have a public health reach and a public health impact in your organization or your region or even your state or nation. Because you can really, versus a multi-session program, you can really get this into the hands of all youth and all parents. So you can see YMCAs and Boys and Girls Clubs and after school, our programs are being used for high-risk substance using youth as well. Those that maybe have been identified at a school setting using hospitals, sports, synagogues, churches, mosques, homes, colleges, military, everywhere there's youth and young adults, PPW programs are being used. There's a number of very unique aspects of prevention plus wellness programs compared to other substance use prevention programs. You can see 6 of them here, just a couple to highlight, and I'll go through more content in all of these areas, but one aspect is the fact that PPW programs integrates substance use and addresses not just substance use, but also the promotion of protective wellness behaviors. And of course, they're very brief, and they use an evidence-based screening and brief intervention practices model. Other unique aspects you can see here, another 6 items. Scripted content increases fidelity of use across providers and time, cuts down on the amount of training necessary, built-in pre and post tests, so you can decide and determine for yourself how effective is your prevention plus wellness program for your city and your youth. And you as a provider, a prevention health provider, get that essential feedback from your youth so that you can promote your program and improve it over time. So let's go ahead and delve into a little bit more of these unique aspects of prevention plus wellness programs so that you're fully aware of what you have here, what you're learning about, and what some of you will be providing to youth and young adults in your areas. So certainly prevention plus wellness programs address alcohol and other substances, depending on which PPW program you use. But also number 2, prevention plus wellness programs address CDR, which is chronic disease risks. And all of our PPW programs, most of them, address obesity, screen time, and physical activity by promoting sports and physical activity. C, unhealthy nutrition by promoting regular breakfast, by promoting eating fruits and vegetables. Lack of sleep by promoting 8 hours of sleep every night. Uncontrolled stress by promoting relaxation, regular relaxation. And other substance use risks are also addressed. Racial discrimination, of course, is addressed in racial justice PPW. Spirituality is addressed in God's Image program. So a lot of, more than a focus on substance use and that is the integrating of substance use and chronic disease risk. So it's a much broader type of a programming than a typical substance use focused prevention program. So one question you may be asking, and I'll ask it right now, why screening and brief interventions? What's the advantage of them? Well, there was a great review of screening and brief interventions back in 2015 that showed a review of interventions using, again, screening and brief interventions that for adolescents and young adults, and found that they were effective for up to a year later for adolescents and young adults. We have conducted our own research and found that our own prevention plus wellness program, which are screening and brief interventions, we found evidence of effects even a year later after just that single session PPW program. And then there was a good review article back in 2016 that indicated that screening and brief interventions have the potential to reach a wide range of youth and a diverse set of youth in different settings because of their brevity in particular. So screening brief interventions, effective, broadly effective, potential to reach large numbers of youth more so than more elaborate or detailed or multi-session programs. Screening and brief interventions are evidence-based practices as identified by SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse Mental Health Services Administration. In fact, they have their own screening and brief intervention model, which they call SBIRT, Screening and Brief Intervention Referral and Treatment. Centers for Disease Control supports screening and brief intervention. World Health Organization supports screening and brief intervention. NIAAA is the National Institute of Drug Abuse, as well as the NIAAA is the National Institute of Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism, as well as NIDA, the National Institute of Drug Abuse, as well as the American Academy of Pediatrics, all support screening and brief interventions as evidence-based practices. Prevention plus wellness programs are screening and brief interventions, and it's a 3-step process. And here it is right here before you. The first step is screening. You screen youth using usually just a screen sheet of paper and pencil screen, and it's designed to help youth gain awareness of not just their substance use, but again, these protective wellness behaviors, physical activity, breakfast, eating, sleep. So that's step 1, screening. Step 2 is you as a provider or a parent provides feedback about those healthy behaviors, the wellness behaviors, using positive image communication, positive image terms. That is designed to elicit, to cue, to trigger unconscious images, future desired images of you of themselves more fit, active, healthy, successful. That increases motivation for behavioral change. And of course, you also, at the same time, tie in or integrate or link how alcohol or vaping or marijuana or substances interfere with those images, those behaviors, those benefits. And those 2 steps, screening and feedback, is designed to increase motivation for change. The 3rd step, goal setting, is designed to initiate change and then over time increase self-regulation skills of youth. Now, the goal setting is unique to prevention plus wellness. It's not just to avoid substance use, but it's also to increase protective wellness behavior. So that's the 3-step process: screening, feedback, and goal setting. It's a 3-step brief intervention process used by prevention plus wellness programs. Now, as I mentioned, 2 of our programs are evidence-based. That means that they've undergone rigorous research, controlled trials, baseline data collection, randomization to the prevention plus wellness program, and a control or comparison group follow-up even a year later. And these publications, these research studies were published in peer-reviewed scientific journals. For sport, these are the 4 journals. For InShape, there was other journals, but we'll just focus on sport today and take a look at a summary, an overview of the findings in those 4 published studies. You can see that Prevention Plus Wellness, the sport program in particular, significantly decreased alcohol use. Not just use, but intention, quantity, frequency, binge drinking, and even alcohol problems. Significantly increased physical activity among participating youth. Reduced cigarette smoking with some effects even a year after that 1 session sport PBW program. Reduced binge drinking, I'm on number 4 now. Reduced binge drinking, smoking, marijuana use, increased physical activity among drug using youth, and even a year later. Increased parent-youth communication. Under number 6, we actually had a study of 3 of the 4 flyers, the parent flyers that we include in our sport programs, and those in the study were found to reduce alcohol use, problems with marijuana use, and increase parent communication among the parents and youth that received those flyers. And lastly, we have sports translated into Turkish language and implemented in a randomized trial by a nursing student completing her thesis or dissertation in Istanbul, Turkey, and found to improve indices of physical and mental health, indicating the robustness of the model and the imagery that is used to promote healthy behaviors and to prevent substance use behaviors, even in as difficult, or as different, I should say, not as difficult, but as different a culture as Turkey is from where our other studies are conducted in the United States. We also have, in addition to the quantitative data, qualitative data. We always collect qualitative data, and you as a provider are encouraged to do that with our built-in pre and post testing. And so you can read some of the comments. These are actual comments of youth that have participated in the sport program. They don't have to be skinny to be healthy, so you can see body images are positive. It motivates them to live a healthy lifestyle. They had fun. A lot of really important qualitative feedback from youth that helps us inform and understand the quantitative data, and this qualitative data can be used to promote and improve your program over time. So after these studies were published, then and only then were Sport and InShape identified or listed in evidence-based registries like Blueprints for Healthy Youth Development, a whole bunch of them. And the list continues to grow, but that's what I'm referring to when I say evidence-based program, because they're listed on evidence-based registries. Now let's shift gears and start taking a look at the theory behind prevention plus wellness programs. And the theory, the primary conceptual model is the behavior image model, or the BIM. It's a marketing-related model. It focuses, and you can use it yourself to develop your own integrated prevention, substance use, or other risk behavior prevention plus wellness promoting interventions, messages, strategies, and so on. So for example, the BIM, the behavior image model, is used to, or could be used to, promote physical activity while preventing alcohol, promoting healthy eating while preventing vaping e-cigarettes. So you can see it's the focus is on linking these prevention and promotion messages. There's 2 main components to the behavior image model. The first is this notion of communicating positive, aspirational, peer and future images as values. And to the extent that those are values for youth, this will increase their motivation to change diverse behaviors, substance using behaviors, wellness behaviors. That's the first part, communicating positive images to increase motivation. Second part, using multiple behavior goal setting to initiate action and to increase self-control skills over time. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more depth. Here's a simplified logic model, but I think a really good one. You can see it starts at the top and then it goes down with the arrows on the right. So it starts with you communicating, or I should say you or parents, communicating behavior image messages to youth or young adults that integrate wellness and risk behaviors, particularly substance use. Then this is believed to cue unconscious, as I said, positive future and peer images of youth in the future, of wellness images, of them being more fit, active, healthy. And those images are associated with sports and physical activity, with nutrition, with sleep, with stress control. The third block, this is believed to increase awareness of wellness images as values and risk behaviors as being undesirable. Then this enhances motivation to set multiple behavior goals. And then by setting them, the last block, and monitoring behavior goals, this will initiate the behavior change process. And to the extent that youth continues setting goals and you encourage them to, this will increase their ability to shape their healthy behaviors over time. A core component of the behavior image model in all prevention plus wellness programs is the focus on positive images, positive behaviors. How do we know this is effective? Well, there's three sources of information that supports this: theory, research, and practice. Under the heading of theory, we know that there are a number of behavioral theories that support this notion of images in shaping or influencing decision making, particularly of youth. For example, possible selves theory is one of them. You can look it up yourself, but other theories as well, Bandura's theories, and others focus on images being important to decision making for young people. Secondly, there's plenty of research showing that images influence youth health decisions and other types of decisions. All you have to do is search under the heading of self-concept, prototype images, possible selves, positive identity, and you'll see that there's research showing these different image concepts being associated with youth health behaviors and health risks. Thirdly, the advertising and marketing industry, since its inception for decades ago, has focused on using appealing images, positive images to promote their products, whether those products are unhealthy products or could be unhealthy, like alcohol, cigarettes, or whether it's cars or whether it's clothing. There's still a major focus on images to sell. Notice they're not using negative images. They're using positive images to promote and sell a product. And this has been effective for decades and continues to be. So you see the image on the left, for example, are we having blankets or they're promoting a particular beer? Look at the images in the background, happy, healthy, young people smiling, laughing. And so again, promoting positive imagery and appealing images of individuals to promote a product. At Prevention Plus Wellness, we're using positive images to promote a lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. Lastly, we have found over the years and decades of using Prevention Plus Wellness programs that a positive wellness habits is much more acceptable, particularly to older adolescents that may have heard prevention messages before and have had risk messages provided to them, and parents, as well as communities and organizations and even funding agencies. They like the focus on positive wellness behaviors. And when you present a Prevention Plus Wellness program to a youth, particularly one-on-one, it's almost as though you're a personal trainer for them. So it ends up being a very, very positive and powerful experience for them. Let me explain to you a little bit more about how this behavior image process works for creating messaging, these integrated messages. So it's a two-step process. And again, this messaging is designed to increase motivation for change. The goal here is to trigger a mental picture, although unconscious most times, of themselves, of youth or young adults in the future as a positive image of themselves. Again, fitted, healthy, and active and successful and popular, whatever the case may be, and substance use as a barrier or counterproductive. And this is done by using vivid image terms. I've just used it for you. Fit, active, successful, healthy. And then images or illustrations representative of youth. Again, positive, like look at a picture to the right here. Happy, healthy, very, very appealing looking young people. So let's take a look at this two-step messaging process that you can use yourself and that we've used in our Prevention Plus Wellness programs. The first is to highlight the benefits of, and particularly any positive images resulting from engaging in a particular wellness behavior. So here's an example from left. Young people, there's our target, who engage in regular physical activity, that's the wellness behavior, tend to feel energetic, sleep better, and look more active, fit, and confident. So you can see the image outcomes are underlined. Very powerful. They elicit, again, an unconscious image of themselves in the future. Energetic, active, fit, confident. Who doesn't want that for themselves, for their youth? And of course, other outcomes, not image related, including sleep better. So that's the first step. You highlight the benefits and particularly images that result from a particular wellness behavior, like regular physical activity. And then you link to that how substance use interferes with that or is a barrier. Quote, marijuana use can reduce your energy level, and that's sort of the mechanism, needed to participate in regular exercise and achieve your fitness goals of being in shape, looking good, and feeling fit and active. So it's as simple as that. You highlight the benefits of a wellness behavior and self-image, and then you link how substance use is a barrier. And then you show these images, mostly positive images of young people. So that's that first part of the behavior image model, a focus on images and increasing motivation. The second part is the goal setting. This is the part to initiate behavior change and increase self-regulation skills. For the goal setting that we provide to youth and young adults, we usually have these components. So we have either a pledge to or a selection of the types of substances or the risk behaviors to avoid, the selecting of a wellness behavior to increase, wellness behaviors to increase, stating a measurable wellness goal, obtaining co-signatures to increase motivation for change, identifying a place to post and track or monitor the behaviors over time, and then completing a follow-up goal after you monitor your behavior following using a 7-day log. So it's a short-term goal. It's a 7-day goal. The research shows that if you've achieved that goal in 7 days, you're likely to continue to go on to achieve other goals. So that's the model. Positive image, multiple behavior goal setting, behavior image model. Basis for Prevention Plus Wellness programs, screening and brief interventions. Now, let's take a look at the need for addressing multiple risk behaviors. Of course, many of you as prevention specialists are familiar with these data. This is actually high school national data, youth risk behavior survey data, most recent data available 2019. National data, you can see 6 out of 10 youth have tried alcohol. Half of youth have tried vaping e-cigarettes. Over a third have tried marijuana. About a fourth have tried cigarettes. So you're aware of the prevalence of the use of substances and the risks that are available in terms of substance use. But at the same time, chronic disease risk behaviors, these behaviors that are associated with obesity and heart disease and so on over time, are even, I would say, even in some cases more prevalent among youth. So you've got 3 out of 4 youth that aren't getting 8 hours of sleep a night, and some need 9 hours, some need 10 hours. You've got, 2/3 are drinking soda, which is just really empty calories. You've got 41% of youth having less than 1 vegetable or fruit a day. They're supposed to have 5. That is incredible. Only 1/3 eating breakfast every morning. Not even 1/4 getting the required amount of physical activity every day, which is an hour. And a lot of youth going on almost a half, spending a lot of time online playing video games, etc. So you can see these behaviors are also, these risk behaviors, health behaviors, influencing substance use, influencing physical health, influencing mental health, are very prevalent among young people throughout the nation. There was a very key longitudinal study, long-term study, which tracked adolescent health behaviors over time, which was published in 2016, which found that young people are likely to be experiencing multiple risk behaviors. Only 4.2% met all 8 health behavior guidelines. In other words, very, very few youth are really following all the health behavior guidelines, and yet over 10% have 5 or more risk behaviors at the age of 16. So what did they have at age 17, age 18, and so forth? So the authors concluded prevention targeting multiple risk behaviors is really needed because young people are experiencing multiple risk behaviors. They're not just experiencing vaping e-cigarettes or alcohol use, they're also having these other risk behaviors, sedentary lifestyle, not eating properly, inadequate sleep, and so forth. Now, another way to look at this is to look at sort of the flip side or the benefits of a healthy lifestyle, being defined as usually eating healthy foods primarily, getting plenty of sleep, being physically active on a regular basis. And research shows that a healthy lifestyle is associated with less depression and anxiety. So mental health indicators, less unsafe sex, and of course for substance use prevention professionals, really important. A healthy lifestyle is associated with less alcohol, tobacco, and illicit drug use. Healthy lifestyle is associated with greater physical and mental health and health-related quality of life, more positive self-image, self-esteem, self-confidence, etc., greater brain development, cognitive functioning, more opportunities to socialize and make friends, greater academic success. So a healthy lifestyle is associated with greater academic success, as defined by less suspensions, a greater attendance in school, less dropouts, and greater likelihood to attend and complete college. And lastly, as I mentioned earlier, these chronic disease risk behaviors, if you engage in a healthy lifestyle, will reduce, you prevent or postpone heart disease, diabetes, cancer, stroke, obesity, and even osteoporosis. That's why we created this interconnected, integrated prevention plus wellness model to promote overall youth health. So the model is, if you take a look at the left, look at the 2 balls to the left, the one on the top, the blue one, substance use prevention, and then you go down, plus healthy behavior promotion. If you include those 2, if you link those 2, if you integrate substance use prevention with healthy behavior promotion, you're likely to go to the right and increase improve mental and physical health. That's the big red ball. So not just physical health, but mental health. So, and then this feeds back. So it's a synergistic model. This will then improve substance use and healthy behavior. So it's a synergistic or a circular model, but it starts with integrating substance use prevention with wellness behavior promotion. So now let's take a look at some other advantages of prevention plus wellness programs. One is the fact that they use scripted content. You can see the pros on the left there. Makes it much easier to use. It doesn't matter if I implement the program or you, or we implement it today or next year or next 5 years. You've got the script, and if you follow it, that's going to increase fidelity and reliability and so forth. And it also reduces the amount of time for training required. So that's why we offer 2-hour online or in-person training for program implementers and 2-hour training for program training trainers. You can do that when you have a program that is scripted and you can read the script, you practice the script. That makes it very, very simple. And then you can also train people that are that don't have a lot of training. They don't have to have a master's degree. They don't have to have a certification to implement prevention plus wellness programs because of the scripting if they get trained to do so. The downside is that you got to have your script with you to present it. Unlike other evidence-based programs, we believe, and I'll read of the research, that some degree of tailoring is necessary in some cases, at least. So for example, and it's very easy to do with prevention plus wellness programs. So for example, if the illustrations, the images shown in the prevention plus wellness program don't match the demographics or the activities shown in your youth group or your youth population or your young adult population, you're welcome to switch them out so that they do, because you want your youth to see representations of themselves. So to give you one example, in Montana, they took out some of the organized sport images in our sport PBW program and included images of outdoor activities like hiking and skiing and fishing. I think that's fantastic. That makes sense. You want youth to see themselves. If your population is all female, or if they're all Hispanic, then you may want to switch out some of the images so that those images, that your population sees images of themselves, etc. And you can even increase, add some additional content. We only ask that you send us the slides and then we'll review them and give you feedback. And of course, you don't even need to send us the slides if you want to just co-brand your cover slide, put your logo on, your organization's logo on, and colors and so on. So tailoring, customization is discussed during our 2-hour online program implementer training. As I said, the scripts for presenting your program in your manual, you have a script for implementing to youth individually. This is likely the most powerful strategy because research shows that tailoring or customizing your communication message can increase its efficacy. And when you implement prevention plus wellness programs individually, you are tailoring the feedback to how they answered the screening survey questions. But the other script, the group script, is the more efficient script. Obviously, you can address more youth in one period than you can with the individual script. So you have that flexibility to implement your program either way, individually or in a group. We have built-in evaluation. We feel even though our programs are evidence-based, it doesn't matter because every situation is different, different implementers, different population, different setting. That's why we believe in having you collect data to assess your program, to get feedback from your youth so that you can promote your program and improve your program. That's why we built in an immediate pre-post test designed to be implemented immediately before the lesson and after the lesson. And you have two options here, two options to your pre and post survey. Either a scannable form, which comes with your program manual, a digital download, or a link, an online SurveyMonkey version, which you can easily send to your youth, especially if you're implementing your program online. send them the link and have them complete it online. Either way, you get data, both quantitative data and qualitative data, which is so important to help you as a provider know how you're doing with your youth. And it's oftentimes lacking in the prevention field. We have a lot of free resources on our website. Just go to preventionpluswellness.com, click on the menu, go to resources, and you'll see all of these resources, and they're free to you. Resources to promote your program or promote awareness of prevention plus wellness, to tailor, to evaluate your program, logic models, research, grant proposals, a lot of online resources, healthy youth lifestyle guidelines for youth goal setting, parent and youth and provider resources, just a lot of things right there under resources on our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Let's take a look at relatively recent adaptations of Prevention Plus Wellness programs. One, I mentioned already that we've created a pre-test and post-test survey, online surveys. So this makes it easier for you to collect the data. You don't even have to touch it, scan it, or anything. You just show the pre-test or post-test, pre-test and post-test links to your participating youth or young adults, and the data are collected and you have access to them. So what are the measures pre-post within that lesson? Behavioral intentions, perceived harmfulness, those are both predictors of future behaviors. Measures of 5 substance using behaviors, they're not focused to one, 4 wellness behaviors. So you have a nice broad assessment of program fidelity and efficacy. All you have to do is ask us for a customized pre-test, post-test survey link for your organization. So your organization's data will be separate from everybody else's. We're happy to do that. So how do you present the screening survey? That's the first part of the intervention. Remember, screening, feedback, goal setting. How do you present the screening survey? You have 3 options. We have a hard copy in your program manual and digital download. We have a PowerPoint slide showing the actual survey. And you also have a link in one of the slides that youth can click on and go to an online screening survey. So you have 3 options for youth to let them complete the screening survey, which is for their use, not yours. It's for their use to increase their awareness of their healthy habits. The same with the goal setting. You have a hard copy of a goal setting, which you can distribute. But if you're presenting your lesson online, you have PowerPoint slides, a link to the to an actual online goal plan, as well as actual slides which show how the youth can complete a goal plan on a blank sheet of paper. So you've got multiple options for screening survey and goal setting. The goal planning is really important. That's why we also now offer continued access to an online goal plan. And to the extent that you promote goal setting beyond your lesson, your single PPW lesson, promote continued goal setting the second week and even beyond, you're going to continue to promote not just goal setting, but monitoring and shaping behavior and increasing self-regulation skills. That's why we have a youth online goal plan. The video and the parent adaptations of our programs offer a new twist. I think the videos, can be very appealing to youth, more dynamic images. By trained parents, you can get parents to present the same positive communication messages and goal setting that you would present to their youth in using the manual youth programs. We have a number of options for training online and in person. In 2 hours, you can be trained online to be a program implementer. 2 hours, you can be trained online to be a program trainer. 1 hour, you can be trained to implement, to teach parents to implement one of our programs. We also provide in-person training, of course, now with hopefully us doing better with the pandemic, we'll be able to do more training in person with you, but we could also train you as a trainer and you could train in person. And we offer free weekly webinars. So if you haven't signed up on our website, if you haven't dropped in your email address, please do, because you're going to want to participate in our weekly webinars, or at least some of them, I think, to be kept up to date with what we're doing. A lot of people, I don't think, know that we take 10% of our net earnings and we give that to high-rated charities that provide resources for the most poor and vulnerable children and families. That is resources to address food and clothing and education and health. And we are really excited and dedicated to doing that. So in conclusion, let me just say, PBW programs exist, evidence-based programs exist. They're one session or they're multi-session Sport 2 case. They address youth and young adult alcohol, tobacco, e-cigarettes, marijuana, opioids, and they promote wellness behaviors. Secondly, PBW programs have many unique components to them as compared to other prevention programs, including their screening and brief interventions that they integrate and address multiple risk behaviors to improve physical and mental health, that they use positive images, that they're scripted, etc. Thirdly, recent adaptations to PBW programs make them even more practical to be used in person and online, to be used by you as professionals, for youth and for parents. There's our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Here's how you can reach out to us on our website. Our phone number here in St. Augustine, 904-472-5022, or info@preventionpluswellness.com. And now, I just wanted to highlight this. Next week, Wednesday, is our next free webinar. The title of this webinar is Evidence-Based Prevention Plus Wellness Model for Youth and Parents. And those are the session objectives. So if you're interested in the possibility of attending this webinar, do go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and drop in your email, and then you'll be notified of this free webinar. This is our next free webinar. It's Wednesday. It's evidence-based prevention plus wellness model for youth and parents. 1 hour, we get a 1 hour CEU. And so I think it's a new adaptation of a presentation. I think you'll like it. All right, I'm going to pause it this time and see if there are any questions or comments from anyone. Is there access to receive, this is from Bonnie, is there access to review the online programs as an educator and a student? So, yes, our programs are, Bonnie, to answer your question, yes. Our programs are, can be all of our programs. They're not online programs. They're programs that can be implemented in person or online. They're adapted. They're all in one, so to speak. But to answer your question, the answer is yes. All you have to do is go to our website, preventionpluswellness.com, and there's go to the menu and click on, send us a message and say, hey, I'd like to review this program or that program, and we'll send you an e-version, a redacted version, so you can get a sense of it. I'll be sending you, everybody, by the way, an email, and I think within that email, there's going to be a link that says if you want to review any of our programs, just click on it and send us a link. Remember to request a specific program. So if it's the sport high school program, say that. If it's the marijuana elementary school, say that. If it's the sport PBW high school video program, if it's the opioid parent program, make sure you identify which program you want. Okay, so thank you for that question, Bonnie. Will this webinar be available for later viewing? Bonnie asks, and is there access for free review particular courses? So I already answered the second part, but yes, Bonnie, you'll be receiving an email from me, and you'll be receiving a link to this recorded session, and you'll be receiving a PDF of the slides. So Bonnie, you'll be able to review that and share that with others in your region or state or nation. I'm sorry, there's some echoing of my voice for some people. Hot Springs, oh, beautiful. Hot Springs, I'm assuming that's Arkansas, gorgeous place. I like the fact that racial justice and IGI programs are added because these are often overlooked. Thank you for that comment. I appreciate that. And remember, the God's Image program is free. Will this webinar be available? I got that question ready from Bonnie. I agree, images are extremely powerful and a source of programming. Thank you for that. And that's from Anne May. Thank you, Anne May. All right, I think that's it. This is last chance. If you have a question, last few seconds, type it in your chat space, type it in your Q&A. I'll give you just a couple more moments. If you have anything you want to ask me, now's the chance to do it. Remember, everybody will be getting an email from me. If you don't see it, please check your spam folder because it does include a certificate. It does include an attached certificate and an attached PDF of the slides. And sometimes because of that, it will be sent to your spam folder. So don't ask me if I've sent it. I have sent it. I'll be sending it to you later today. It will be sent out today. Trust me, unless there's some kind of an emergency, you'll be getting it today and your certificate as well. Let's see, there's another question interested in, oops, that's it, sort of flipped. I'm interested in marketing the software. Who should I speak with? Or you just contact me, Bonnie. You can contact Chudley at preventionpluswellness.com. So, or info@preventionpluswellness, or my number, 904-472-5022. 904-472-5022. You can reach me from our website, Bonnie. And okay, thanks so much to everybody for joining us. God bless you for what you do for youth and families in your areas. It's been an honor to spend time with you, and do keep in touch with us, and do look at our free resources on our website, preventionpluswellness.com. Look under the heading of resources. Have a great day, everyone, and stay safe. Bye-bye.